We see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Within seconds of 20-year-old Pennsylvania resident Thomas Matthew Crooks opening fire at former President Donald Trump's rally in Butler on Saturday evening, he was fatally shot by the Secret Service. This incident has raised many questions about the efficiency and preparedness of the specialized counter-sniper teams tasked with protecting high-profile events. Despite their expertise and advanced training, this situation represents one of the worst security lapses in decades, prompting an in-depth analysis of what went wrong and how such an incident could have been prevented. Comprehensive analysis was done, which examined more than 40 videos and photos, along with satellite imagery and terrain analysis, was conducted to create a detailed 3D model of the rally site and the shooter's position. This analysis found that the two Secret Service counter-sniper teams may have initially been hindered in their ability to see the shooter as he crawled up the roof due to its slanted sides. Furthermore, trees near the rally likely played a significant role in obscuring the shooter from at least one team assigned to detect and neutralize potential threats. The combination of these factors created a perfect storm, allowing Crooks to get into position and open fire before he could be detected and stopped. Watch the full rally location 3D view. Secret Service is responsible for the overall coordination of security measures during such high-stakes events. According to the agency's director, local law enforcement was tasked with securing the building from which Crooks allegedly opened fire. However, it appears that officers failed to prevent him from accessing the roof, a critical oversight that allowed the tragedy to unfold. This lapse in coordination and execution highlights the challenges and complexities of securing large public gatherings, especially those involving high-profile individuals like former presidents. When questioned about whether the slant of the roof or the presence of trees would have impacted the team's ability to respond effectively, the Secret Service declined to comment. However, the reviewed assessments have been corroborated by 3 former law enforcement officials, including 2 retired snipers, a former Secret Service agent, and a former Marine sniper. These experts provided valuable insights into the challenges faced by the counter-sniper teams and the potential improvements that could be made to prevent such incidents in the future. In the wake of this incident, there will likely be a thorough review of security protocols and procedures to ensure that such a breach does not happen again. The Secret Service, along with other law enforcement agencies, will need to address the identified weaknesses and implement measures to enhance the protection of public figures and attendees at high-profile events. Watch it from this angle as well. The 3D model showed that the pitch of the building's roof where Crooks was found may have made it harder for both units to work. The roof rises about 3.5 feet from the outside walls to its peak. The study, which used a camera to show what the team saw, says that Crooks probably couldn't have been seen as he climbed up the roof to his final shot spot. The detailed model shows that the 2 trees between the northernmost Secret Service counter-sniper team and the suspect may have made it even harder for them to see him. They were just over 400 feet away and on top of a 23-foot tall barn. According to an analysis, the second counter-sniper team, which was about 550 feet away from the shooter, might have had a better view, even though they were farther away. The bushes may not have been in this team's line of sight because they were slightly to the west. This may have given them a better view.
Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit... He's going down! If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Counter-sniper teams often use binoculars to look for threats because they have a wider field of view than rifle optics, said Jason Lawless, a former police officer who was a sniper with the Tulsa Police Department's Special Operations Team. But the northernmost team had already moved to their rifle positions about 2 minutes before shots were fired. This showed that they were aware of a possible threat at that point. The exact moment when Crooks was first seen by the Secret Service counter-snipers is still unknown. Take a look at what this account posted on its X account.
Take a look what happened.
Lawless said, if they're on scope, they've been told something. One of the counter-snipers on the northernmost team jerked, took his eye off the scope, and moved to a new spot as Crooks fired his first shots. This response shows that they were caught off guard when the threat appeared out of nowhere. The southernmost counter-sniper team, which was facing south in earlier pictures, seemed to turn north before Crooks allegedly fired, which suggests they were also aware of a possible danger.
About 6 minutes into Trump's speech, absolute mayhem broke out. Some eyewitnesses spotted a gunman on a roof about 400 to 500 feet away from Trump. Then suddenly, 3 shots rang out, followed by a pause and 5 more shots in rapid succession. Trump paused mid-sentence as the shots were fired. He touched the right side of his face and took cover as Secret Service agents rushed to the podium to surround him.
2 team spots on the barn roofs were about 5 to 8 feet higher than the roof from which Crooks is said to have fired. Because of this difference in height, the 3D model says that neither team was likely high enough to see Crooks as he climbed up the other side of the roof. A police officer who knew about the shot said that the counter-snipers might not have been able to see because of the sloped roof. The counter-sniper who killed Crooks had him in his sights for a while trying to figure out if he had a gun and was a threat. He then shot him seconds after Crooks fired, according to an officer who spoke on the condition of anonymity because the investigation is still going on. Officials haven't said which member of Trump's security team killed the dangerous person. Investigators are still looking into how Crooks got up on the roof of a nearby building, which was more than 400 feet away from where Trump was speaking, without being caught. Aerial video showed that Crooks' body was found about 40 feet from the building's eastern edge, which faces a parking lot. A gun was found a few feet away, and something that looked like a bag was found further down the roof. Here, watch it in this footage. The 3D reconstruction shows that there were trees between the shooter and one of the Secret Service teams, which, according to Lawless and the other experts, would have helped him hide. However, there were mostly clear views between the shooter and Trump's podium. Aerial footage showed a ladder leaning against a structure that was linked to the building where Crooks is said to have fired the shots. There are air conditioning units in this structure. How the shooter got to the roof of the building, which is just over 13 feet high at its lowest point, is not clear. While counter-sniper teams would have had a hard time seeing Crooks from the far side of the roof, people outside of the gathering were able to see him clearly before the first shots were fired, which makes people wonder how well the local police patrols are doing. Several videos taken by people outside the gathering grounds show them trying to call the police about someone on the roof who they thought might be armed. In the videos, police walk close to the building where Crooks fired, at least 86 seconds before the first shots were fired at 6:11 p.m. People on a video checked called out to police that there was a man on the roof. A close-up shot of him lying on his stomach is shown.
We have some brand new video just coming in showing another angle of the moments before the attempted assassination on Donald Trump. As we're going to watch this video together, it's about a minute long. You can see the video moving around. You can also, let's listen in together. So you'll see it, and let's listen to what they say.
Yeah, look, there he is.
Because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
On the roof.
It's much tougher than it happens.
You went right on the roof again.
If he was doing the job, I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful place.
I mean, you can hear it. The way it's described is the crowd there, as you can see, spotted the gunman more than a minute before the shooting, and you can see them, hear them calling out for law enforcement to try to draw their attention to it. Just remarkable in seeing how this played out and how close he was, some 450, 500 feet from Donald Trump, and we know what happened in the minute after that.
Derek Bartlett, president of the American Sniper Association and former SWAT sniper for the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, said, "There should have been police officers nearby who could have either refused to let him in to begin with or responded right away to the call. There was a weak spot in the safety." At 6:11 p.m., there were gunshots in the air. After looking at confirmed video of the attempted murder and the police reaction that followed, Rob Maher of Montana State University and Stephen Beck of Beck Audio Forensics both heard a total of 10 gunshots. The sound of the first 8 was similar, and they were shot 6 seconds apart. They said that right after them, a shot came from a different place, and 16 seconds after the first shot, there was one last shot.
Really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
The sound signatures of these last 2 gunshots were different from those of the others, which suggests a security reaction. Maher and Beck both warned that sound analysis alone could not pinpoint the exact source of these gunshots. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle said on Tuesday that local police were in charge of protecting the building's edges, and that officers were inside while Crooks was on the roof. She said that one reason the agency didn't ask for a cop on top was because they were worried about the safety of someone standing on an angled roof. Based on what was found, the counter-sniper teams were set up on decks with more slope. The day after the shooting, on July 14th, President Biden asked for an outside investigation into what happened. He said in a statement that her agency is working with all involved federal, state, and local agencies to understand what happened, how it happened, and how we can make sure that something like this never happens again. This was all the planning and mapping of Trump's assassination attempt. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more.